What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated, chosen one of CG, the Chicano Stanley, the one, the only Wrong Tony. And today we're going to be talking about Rippasend and why it's a huge failure. That's right, a failure on multiple fronts. We're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be using the first book launched by Rippasend, Achromatic Chronicles Green, to prove that it is an utter failure. But before we get into that, before we get into the numbers and the boring stuff, let's get into the exciting stuff, and that's telling you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, share this with your friends, tell everybody about this, because we're going to be talking about something serious, and that is Eric July and his failure. All right, so as you can see, this is Achromatic Chronicles Green. It's on Rippasend right now. It's got $50,000 as a goal. It's got $43,824 already in the bank. 1,115 books sold. Man, they're 87.65% away from their goal. Look at that. They're so close. And yet, I'm telling you, this is a failure. It sounds good. This sounds great. This sounds fantastic. It sounds like Jay is going to make himself a nice bit of money. But guys, gals, you got to listen to me. You got to understand, this is not good. This is an utter failure. This campaign has been up for 8 days. 8 days, and it has only raised $43,000. Well, let's take a look at the previous campaign, the one that had no Rippaverse involvement, the one that had no Eric July involvement, the one that was run by Jay himself, the one where Jay got to keep most of the money. Well, here it is, Achromatic Chronicles Blue. As you can see, we're on Backer Kit, where they have Backer Tracker, and so we get to see exactly how much everything was sold. As you can see, if we scoot on over to the 25th, which is 8 days after the campaign launched, they raised $41,167. But wait, they raised $43,000 with Rippaverse. There's a $2,000 difference. That is what Eric July brings to the table. $2,000. Now, I don't know if you heard, but Katie did manage to raise $2,000 for Pencils Down. She promoted it. She launched the campaign. They raised $2,000. Eric July has the exact same promotional power as Katie did. That is a failure on multiple fronts. As you can see, one more day, we're right there. We're right there. $43,000 on day 9. So, I mean, the original campaign was almost exactly on the same track, same trajectory, same monetary goals as this one, without Eric July, without a previous book in the campaign. That's right. That's the other thing you got to remember, guys. The first book was the only book. There was no extras. There was no t-shirts. There was no merch. There was no squeezy hand toys. There was one book. That's it. That's all Jay was selling. Achromatic Chronicles Blue. And he raised $41,000 in 8 days. Now with 2 books, with the original book, with Blue, and with Green being sold together, package deals, CGC grading, you got t-shirts, you got squeezy toys. How are they only at $43,000? This is an abject failure. Drunk 3PO is going to pay Eric July an exorbitant amount of money in order to use his services, and his services have done nothing. They've added no benefit to the campaign. This proves what we've been saying all along. Jay would have been better off just doing the campaign on his own. It is irrefutable at this point. Eric July, no promotional power. Eric July's fans will not buy books that are not Eric July centric. They're not Rippaverse centric. Jay's book, no involvement with the Rippaverse. Jay's book, not for adults. Jay's book for people with children. That's what Rippaverse fans don't have. Rippaverse fans are lonely men who can't even get a girlfriend. So they ain't going to have no children. They ain't going to have nobody to give this book to. Now, as you can see from the original campaign, there was a huge $40,000 bump right at the end. I don't know what happened. I don't know if that's when they introduced all the charity stuff, all that extra things. I wasn't there for when the campaign was live. I can only see the data after the fact. And it looks like Jay is on track to sell the exact same amount. It looks like he's on track to make the exact same amount of money. Twice as much merchandise, twice as many books. Eric July and everybody pushing this. In the original campaign, it's just Jay. Jay, word of mouth, other people on YouTube. Eric July wasn't pushing it. Geeks and Gamers wasn't really pushing it. Friday Night Tights wasn't pushing it. Now you got all these people pushing this book, putting all their collective clout behind it, and they've done nothing for him. How can anyone say that this is a success? How can anyone say that Rippasend is the way to go after looking at this data? Irrefutable. Jay, pull out now. If you can break the contract, if you can somehow get out of this deal, say, Eric, you're not delivering on your promises, I would do it. Because right now, you're standing to lose tons of money because you're going to have to pay Eric July. You're going to have to pay Rippasend all that money for no benefit. Well, let me know what you think in the comments. Am I wrong? Am I wrong to say that Jay is going to make the same amount of money? Am I wrong to think that Eric July has added no benefit to this campaign? Are the numbers wrong? Let me know in the comments. I know there's going to be a lot of Eric July fans, a lot of Eric July stands, a lot of Rippatards in there getting mad. But guys, numbers never lie. People lie all the time. Numbers, they're always telling the truth. And the story they tell here is Eric July, no value to your campaign. But that's all I got for this one. Love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.